Well, good morning, Hollywood Time viewers. Today we are joined by Grammy-nominated artist Crystal Lewis. Hi, Crystal. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you.
I love your hair.
Thank you. Other than the high maintenance aspect of constant coloring, it's pretty low maintenance in terms of care. So,
What's your actual color?
now at this stage in life, I very, very dark. I was born a blonde. And I spent my childhood and high school years as a blonde person. And then I started dyeing my hair. And then, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I shaved my head on a whim on a New Year's Eve. And was shocking to find out that I am a very dark brunette now.
Wow. What caused you to shave your head like that?
I had already cut my hair short.
Yeah.
And a girlfriend and I were just hanging out on a New Year's Eve and literally on a whim. We're like, I don't know. I mean, her hair wasn't as short as mine, so it wasn't as big of a deal for me, but I don't know. There was no big impetus or catalyst for it. It was just, well, I've never done that before. Okay, I'll try that.
Okay, there we go. Check mark.
Yes, don't need to do it again.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for taking the time to join us today. And we're here to talk about your new single, I Can't Help It, with Charles Jones. Let me tell you, that is an amazing song. It's just inspirational. You just have to groove. And if you don't groove, something's wrong with you, because that just made me like squirming around, and their video is just awesome. You have a voice of an angel.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So what's the inspiration for this song?
Okay, so I grew up listening to, basically Aretha Franklin and Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and Michael Jackson. And that was just what did it for me, those artists, those voices. And I Can't Help It originally was recorded by Michael and appeared on his Off the Wall album, which came out in 1979. The song was actually written by Stevie Wonder. Wow. And co-written by a woman by the name of Suzanne Green, who incidentally was one of the final members of the Supremes. After Diana Ross had left and they were kind of in their final stages, she was one of the last members of that group. So she and Stevie co-wrote that song. And I don't know why it was never one of the big hits off the record. It wasn't one of the big singles, but it just was always one of my favorites from, I was 10 years old when the album came out. And I just have always loved that song. And when I became friends with Charles, I had a couple gigs coming up and I thought, well, it'd be so fun for him to come sing with me. And that was the first song that popped into my mind. It was not a duet on the album originally, but I just heard Charles singing it with me in my mind. So one thing led to another and we ended up recording it. So.
Oh, wow. So we're all blessed to have that. It's great. So that's one of the singles that's on your new album, which is Together We Can, which is going to be released May 13th, I believe. So let's talk about the process of song selection. How many songs do you have on that album coming up?
There are technically 10 songs, although there will be 11 tracks, because one of the songs I had translated into Spanish and I recorded a dual version of the same song. And it's all duets. The whole project is with a collaborative effort with other artists. So I chose the artists based on the fact that they were dear friends and favorite singers, favorite vocalists. Like, I listen to these people, I love their voices, I wanted to sing with them, for those reasons. There are 6 originals and 4 covers on the record. So, and I've been making records for 30 plus years, and I've never been one of those artists that says, oh, I've got this pool of 25 songs and I'm going to go through and curate and cull my favorites. And I have always just written songs for a project. Whether those songs were written specifically for that project or not, it just always wind up writing 12 songs or 10 songs or whatever specifically for a record. So that was the case with this. It was each song was selected specifically for the artist that I wanted to sing on it with. So yeah.
Well, you said you've been doing this for 30 years. Did you write your first song at 2? Come on.
I was, how old was I? 14? I think I was 14, 15 when I wrote my first song and recorded it at 15. Yeah.
What was the song?
Let's see. It was a rockabilly song. I was in a rockabilly band first, which is what I did as a teenager. And I think I wrote like an interlude to a part of a song because I was so timid at the time, and I was working with all these cute boys that were older than me, and I was like super shy. And I just wrote the middle section to a song called Heartbeat. You make my heart beat, or something like that. Insignificant.
So how old were you when you discovered your singing voice?
I think the first time I sang in public, I was 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. I grew up in Southern California. My dad was a preacher and my mom was an incredible musician. And so I could sing anything I wanted because any song I wanted to sing, my mom could play on the piano for me. And so at 4 or 5, I think took the stage and with Jesus Loves Me or something like that when I was just a little tiny thing.
Yeah, the gospel songs, some beautiful songs.
Yeah.
So do you play the piano?
To start. No, I mean, I grew up in piano lessons because of my mother.
Yeah.
I stopped when I was in college because I was working with incredible musicians and I didn't really need to accompany myself. And it's one of my greatest regrets in life that I didn't apply myself a little bit more. But also the reality is it's truly not my gift. It's not something that comes easily or naturally to me.
Yeah.
Technically, this is my daughter's piano and I am like have joint custody of it or something for this phase of life. She'll probably take it back at some point, but and I'm literally sitting in my kitchen. So it's very funny that I have a piano in my kitchen. So when anyone comes over that does play, this is our entertainment.
Nothing like cooking meal and music. You got it in the right
Exactly.
place.
I agree.
That's so cool. Now I also read that one of the songs, I Won't Forget You, features your 2 children, which they're adults, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's talk about that one.
Yes, my kids are 26 and 28 and both married. And yes, I started young, which I'm very grateful for. And my mother has Alzheimer's. She was diagnosed about 8 or 10 years ago. So been on this journey for a while. We transitioned her to a memory care facility about 1.5 years ago. And on that day, she looked at me and said, kind of jokingly, I mean, really, it was a very strange moment. She gave me a little shoulder shrug and kind of like a little trying to be funny smirk and said, well, don't forget about me. And she did not realize what was happening. Like she has not been in her right mind in a very long time. And so she's walking into this facility. It was during COVID. So I couldn't go in with her, to the room. I had to just like watch her walk down this hallway. And so as she's getting ready to walk away, she paused and turned and said to me, don't forget me.
Right.
And it was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't even know the weight of what she just said. So I left there thinking, well, that obviously needs to be a song. And so as I wrote it, especially leading up to the process of, pulling all the songs together for this record, I thought I can't sing that with anyone but my kids. That has to be what this song becomes, a trio. And so I wrote it in a way that I'm singing it about my mom. I mean, that was where my heart and my head were as I wrote those lyrics. But I also feel like my kids could sing it about me. So it's kind of a, double meaning there, but it was so special, as you can imagine. My son lives in Montana. And so
Wow.
my daughter and I flew up there, and he's a musician. They're both musicians as well. And so we got to record it, just the three of us together in his studio. And it was just such a sweet, just once in a lifetime experience. And yeah, I was very proud of their performance and of the song, and I love it.
Will it be released as a video at any time or?
We don't have a video for it yet. The I Can't Help It video that was done so last minute. I just thought, you know what? I have all this footage of Charles and I singing live. And so I edited that together in iMovie on my phone. I just like put it together, but it wound up so great that I thought, well, how else can I do this for this record? Who else do I have footage, singing with? But I think what I might do is pull a bunch of old home movies of like, if I can find stuff of my mom as a young person and me as a young person, and then my kids as young people, and see if I can't try and make something out of what I've got. I think that'd be really sweet. So,
You know what a fantastic idea would be for that song, I Won't Forget You? And you do a video, you should reach out to the Alzheimer's organizations or maybe where your mom is and see if they can make that an anthem. Wouldn't that be a great?
yes,
for Alzheimer's?
yes,
You should
yes.
look into that.
You are so right. That is a great idea. Thank you. I definitely will.
Wow. So I wanted to ask, like during the pandemic, what did you and your family do? Like back in 2020, seems like a long ago.
I know, it's so weird.
Still in
Well,
it.
I know. Well, my daughter lives in LA. And so she and I saw each other on not a lot, but we made sure that we were, connected. My mom lived at home at the time, and my parents live in the house, or my dad now lives in the house that I grew up in Orange County. And so my sister lives with them. And so I would drive there and park in the driveway, and they'd sit outside on the porch and I'd sit by my car, and we would just like talk, or we'd sit in the backyard. We didn't have a lot of contact at all. But then toward the end of the time, it was October, I think. So things were starting to go back to a little bit of normalcy. And so I was able to at least see my parents, but it was hard because at that time my mom was dramatically declining. And so you think, if you don't see someone for a couple of weeks or a month, even, you pick up where you left off. And that's just not typically the case with an Alzheimer's patient. You lose so much more exponentially. So, yeah, but she's still close by, and we can still, go visit her now. So it's all, there's good in all of it. It's hard, but there's, always good.
Blessing to you and your mom.
Thank you.
So also, were you able to write during the pandemic?
Yes. I honestly, I really enjoyed the downtime. I live alone, and so I'm alone a lot, which seems like, I would have been frustrated at having to keep being alone, but I wasn't. It was fine. I actually had a granddaughter born in June of 2020. Yeah. And so in Montana. And so, yes, I spent the majority of my time like dreaming up and watering, I guess, the seeds of Together We Can, of that project. It was kind of just beginning. So I spent a lot of time writing. And when my granddaughter was born, they said I could come and visit her and hold her and see her if I quarantined in Montana for 14 days. So I thought, what else am I going to do? I got, so I drove up there and I found a vintage Airstream trailer on a farm in the woods about 2 hours from where they lived. And I just camped out there and did basically nothing but write. Actually, I filmed another music video while I was there as well for myself. And then got to go and meet my beautiful little redheaded granddaughter. So I felt like 2020 there was a lot of good in it for for me. I lost a couple friends. There was bad too, of course, but what an interesting learning and growth experience it was.
What a great book that would be, to write about a grandmother going to visit the grandchild for the first time during a pandemic. I mean,
I know
that's gonna be a history book.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Isn't it weird to think about telling her, the first time I met you.
And how you did it, how you drove and had to rent a trailer and camp.
Yes.
And, I mean, who would have thought that, right?
Yeah.
You better write that all down.
Yes, I will. I wrote some of it in a blog post, but yeah, it could definitely fill a book.
So cool. Oh my goodness. I was wondering, what are some of your greatest stage performance memories and why?
Ooh, what a good question. I would say, gosh, it's so interesting. As I said, I've been doing this for a really long time. And some of my absolute most favorite memories are recent. And I love that. And I hope that is some encouragement to performers in their 30s, 40s, 50s, because good things can keep happening, for sure. One of the highlights is that I got to sing on the Grammy telecast alongside Kirk Franklin, Bono, Mary J. Blige, and who else? Gerald Levert was there that night, because R. Kelly actually sang on the song, but he was not able to be there to perform with us. So, I mean, highlight. I've said 100 times, Bono kissed me right here on this cheek at the end of the performance, and I did not wash my face for a while. So it was very thrilling. I did another award show and got to sing with CeCe Winans, who's one of my favorite singers and a beautiful inspiration. I got to sing at, what was it? I think it was the Essence Awards at the theater at Madison Square Garden. And we were honoring Kirk Franklin. And so I had sung a bunch of stuff with him over the last couple of years. And at the end of that night, Stevie Wonder was the finale, and he came out, and they invited everyone who had been on stage that night to just come and sing along with him, kind of in a choir thing. So, I mean, nobody probably saw me, but I was on the stage singing with Stevie Wonder right there. That was very exciting. And then most recently, I was able to sing with Arturo Sandoval at the Disney Hall in LA in December. Yes.
Oh, what
and
an honor.
Oh my gosh. It was such a dream. So yeah. Pretty
amazing venue too.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Good stuff. Years.
Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
So then I also read that your next single, Everybody Hurts, with Ty Hendren, that's coming out March 18th. What was it like singing with him?
Oh my gosh. Ty, he's a remarkable singer. I'm not a huge, country music.
Yeah.
Like an avid country music listener. I don't dislike it or anything like that. It's just not what I gravitate toward. And I became friends with Ty a couple of years ago. And there's something about good people there when you get to partner and work with them. I don't know how that sharpens those edges. Yeah, he's so amazing. Does that mean he comes across as a better singer to me? Or is he just a really great singer that happens to be a nice person? I'm not sure how that works. But he's been at this a long time. He's a little bit older than me. He's been around longer than me. He has done a lot of amazing things. His story is deep, and I always say it's a story of profound redemption, and he is remarkable, the things that he's overcome. And somehow he just keeps getting better as a vocalist. I've heard him live many times. I've heard him sing sick. He is incredible. So he was in California. He lives in Nashville. He was visiting California for a show, and I was able to pull him into the studio, and we got to record it together which was really a treat, just such a gift. So if you ever have the chance to see him live, he's really fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I can't wait to hear this new album of yours.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so excited.
But I know the new album is going to feature showcase like pop and soul, contemporary, traditional jazz, and even big band. So what inspires you to choose these genres of music for the new album?
Well, I think for this project, like the last one, I put out a record in 2019 that was my first full-length non-Christmas album that kind of fell under the jazz umbrella. I did a trio jazz Christmas record a long time ago in 2000, but I wanted this project to fall into that umbrella as well.
Mhm.
But I like a lot of different things. I like a lot of different singers, a lot of different people, and I listen to a lot of different things. And so the challenge was to make it all still kind of, cohesive in the idea of it being relatable from a jazz perspective.
Yeah.
But good grief, if you've ever been to a jazz festival
Mhm.
anywhere, you have all this variation under that umbrella. So my goal was to pull in people like Tori Kelly, like Ty Herndon, who is country, and Tori is, more pop, R&B.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't normally sing jazz stuff, but like, because of the way that we wrote and produced the songs, I felt like, yeah, this fits the bill, this fits the vibe. And I like trying to get my friends to do a little bit different things. So
Outside the box.
yeah, it's good.
Cool. So are you on tour right now?
No, not right now. We're wrapping up the mix and everything of the record. And I have a bunch of dates coming up, but none of them are taking me out on the road for an extended period of time. I get to kind of stay home as my literal home base and just, go out from here. So hopefully next year, once the record comes out, there will be some opportunities to just kind of get out on the road. So yeah, awesome. I'll be up in LA at Vibrato on the day of the album release, May 13th.
Oh, awesome. I'll have to check into that with Lori.
Yes.
Oh, cool. So can you share with us your social media as well?
Yes, it is the Crystal Lewis on all the platforms, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Apparently a lot of people have this name, and so I had to put a "the" in front of it. So it's
You deserve it.
Thank you.
Well, that's cool. I'll make sure I put all that on there. So what are you looking forward to most going out touring again when it happens next year?
Oh, I love travel. I spent an enormous amount of time on the road in years past. I love Southern California, and I love that I'm back here, living here again after having been in Montana for a while. But I also am so anxious to be able to get out. I do a lot of shows here in Southern California, and I haven't had as much opportunity the last 3 years to get to do shows elsewhere. So I'm just looking forward to revisiting those different cities and markets and reconnecting with fans there. And yeah, I look forward to that.
Cool. I also want to talk to you about your website. Wow. The website, the about you. It's amazing. Yes. I want to talk about the fashion. You're just gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
I love it all. Oh, where does all that come from? The inspiration.
I don't know. Lots of different places. I don't know. I pull from a lot of vintage places. I wear a lot. I mean, I'm literally not wearing anything new today, all old things. I just have gravitated toward it since childhood. Literally was vintage shopping in junior high, or thrifting, I guess you would have called it back then. But I don't know. I don't know if that came from, it didn't really come from my mom. Because she was always like, can we please buy you new clothes? Why do you have to always wear old clothes?
You wear them so well.
Thank you.
You have a room just with for your wardrobe?
No, I need one. I have I mean, it's good that I live alone, I guess, at this point, because I do have clothes in every single closet and half of my garage. So
Wow.
I have a whole archive of my performance stuff from the 90s, which I'm
Wow.
so glad that I still have. So I was on a Nickelodeon show in 1992, no, 1993, 92, 93, called Roundhouse. And I
Wow.
have all my wardrobe still from the show. So
That is so cool. So you're going to
yes,
be one of those ones when we go see you in tour where you'll change costumes?
I think that sounds like a very good idea. That
Yeah,
sounds
I can't
like it should
wait.
absolutely be a thing. Yes.
It should be. Where they're jamming to the music, you go change. We want to see that.
Yes. Yeah, that needs to be a part of every show moving forward. Yes.
Yeah, so we need you to be a host for some type of show so you can show all that off.
Yes, definitely. I'm
Come
in.
on. Well, we do appreciate you taking the time and we look forward to your new release, the other one coming up on 18th, and then your album's going to be released May 13th. We all look
Yeah.
forward to that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And keep it up. Keep up the wonderful music.
I shall do my best.